Hi guys, it's Michelle with Deception Bytes, and I am back again with more Q posts. And there's been a huge drop, a massive drop today. So I'm going to be breaking this into two videos just so that I don't wear anyone completely out. So what I want to do first, though, is to back up just slightly because the last video I made had some errors in it and I've got some additional information. So I wanted to just back up for just a few minutes, and it really will be just a few minutes, and then we'll go forward because it'll also make things make sense in this new drop. So I had said that Assumption College was in Shanghai. It is not. It is in Bangkok, Thailand, and it's a private boys' school. However, this was only this picture right here that Q provided last time. I assumed falsely that he was pointing out Assumption College, and I guess indirectly he was. He, she, they were, because it's used as a reference point so that we know where this picture is taken. And why does he want us to know where this picture is taken? Well, on top of the, and I can't believe I missed this, but there is a helicopter, and that helicopter is extracting someone. Now, who is that? Well, we're going to find out. And I'm sorry this is so small. I can try to make it bigger, and there's the, oops, hang on here. So that you can at least, I know a lot of you are on your phones, that's why I'm trying to, it's right here, the helicopter. So the reason Q posted this and posted a picture of Assumption College is because by looking up Assumption College, we can know where exactly that picture was taken. And I did go out and look up, there are several Assumption Colleges, but I did look up the one in Bangkok, in Bangkok, and it is this. So I know for a fact that this is taken in Bangkok. So this was probably only provided as a point of reference because there's a helicopter on the roof of the odd-looking middle building, like I just pointed out. This is so we know there is an extraction taking place in Bangkok. This corresponds to the arrest of Sergei Medvedev, and I mentioned that in the last video, and he ran an online cybercrime marketplace where everything from stolen credit card information to hardware for compromising ATM machines could be purchased. He was, according to the news article, he was arrested at his apartment. So that is his apartment, or at least where he was staying. Because I think I read somewhere that he was on vacation, so he was probably visiting someone at that apartment. I don't know, but let's just go out here really quickly and take a look to refresh your memory. And this is the guy. He's a Russian accused of running dark web market, nabbed in Thailand. And he, interestingly enough, because you're probably saying, well, what does this have to do with the U.S.? Well, the U.S. had issued an indictment against him. Police in Thailand announced Friday they have arrested a Russian national accused by U.S. authorities of running an online cybercrime marketplace where everything from stolen credit card information to hardware for compromising ATM machines could be purchased. Police said that Sergei Medvedev was arrested at his Bangkok apartment on February 2nd at the request of U.S. authorities. The U.S. Justice Department on Wednesday announced indictments against 36 people accused of being active in the InFraud organization, founded in 2010 and operated under the slogan, "In Fraud We Trust," which was an anonymous online forum that the department described as a one-stop shop for cybercriminals. It said it had nearly 11,000 members who traded more than 4.3 million credit cards, debit cards, and bank accounts worldwide, leading to losses of more than 530 million for legitimate users and businesses. So this is, he's a bad dude. And that's him. So that's important because yesterday I touched on it as just as a sort of a theory that it could be this, and it turns out it really was. And we'll find that as we go forward into the Q post, we'll find that that is the case. Now, the other thing I wanted to say was the picture of the E And people keep sending me things saying, I think E is this, I think E is that. I don't think E is any of those things. I think E was taken in Terminal 2 of Shanghai Pudong International Airport in Shanghai, China. And because this corresponds directly, this is the picture that I found, and that's why it's in this little block here. This has nothing to do with Q. This is just my own thoughts and notes, but I did find an exact picture of that. It's marking the gate. It's a gate marker in Terminal 2 in Shanghai International Airport. So we know that there was an extraction that took place in Bangkok. Chances are he could have been flown to Shanghai. We saw that airplane picture as well. I don't know where that was taken, but it's possible it was taken here. And now he could have been, I said probably taken, but he could have been taken from Bangkok to Shanghai by plane. It's 3,000 miles as the crow flies. And remember too that Q had said something about number 10 is now with us or something like that. And I think that meant that he was now on U.S. soil. Now, whether it was referring to this guy or not, I don't know. But since the picture of Assumption College is not in Manila, oh, that's right. I said it was in Manila, Philippines. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. And it's not. It's in Bangkok, Thailand. And as I stated in the last video, this had nothing to do with Duarte, the president of the Philippines. And because it was taken in the Philippines and there was a thing underneath that said, what's happening in Asia, I falsely assumed that it must have something to do with the Philippines. And the only thing I could find was, the stuff on Duarte. But he is not a bad guy. He's actually a good guy that has been trying to fight the globalists and the drug cartels. So that was my error, and it was a big error, and I apologize for that. But I do try to correct things when I'm wrong, and I readily admit when I'm wrong, and I was. So probably the E, and then remember Q also said 5. I bet you the gate where he departed from was E5, because that makes sense. That would just make sense to me. But again, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I'm definitely not wrong about Assumption College being in Bangkok, and I'm definitely not wrong about the arrest of Sergei Medvedev. So there you go. Now, let's go up to the new ones. Okay, not there. I think, where did we leave off here? 10. Sorry, I had to go back to go forward. So here we are. Okay, we left off here. This was the last post, and today is February 11th, and this is what Q has dropped today. So he starts off by saying 71-187. Now we know that 187 is the code for murder. Okay, so he's saying 71 people murdered. And he's referring to the plane crash in Russia. 71 people died in the crash. But then he says underneath here, 1 targeted. 71 people were murdered, but there was only 1 that was targeted in that plane crash. So 71 people died, there was only 1 target. Now, that target was this person. And I'm going to make this bigger so that you can read it, because I cannot pronounce his name, and I'm not going to try. I'm going to call him VP because there's absolutely no way I can pronounce a Russian name. So, who was he when he was not at home? Well, it turns out that he is connected to Rosatom. Interesting. So, former Deputy Director General of Rosatom, VP, has been appointed Rosatom's Special Representative for International Science and Technical Projects. His responsibility will include Russia's representation at the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, the creation of a center for study of ions and antiprotons in Europe, and the organization of an international research center for Russia's multipurpose sodium-cooled fast neutron research reactor, or MBIR by its Russian acronym. He will also head the Rosatom Technology Development Center, which is being created at the Moscow Engineering Physics Institute. So that's it for that. And that's who that guy is. So he's connected to Rosatom. And what's Rosatom connected to? Well, of course, uranium-1. So let's look into the link for the plane crash first. Russian passenger plane crashes near Moscow, 71 dead. It's funny because when I woke up this morning, I heard that news. Well, I didn't hear it, I read it on my phone, and immediately I remember thinking, I wonder who was on board that plane. And sure enough, that thought was right. It was not an accident. Moscow, Reuters. A Russian passenger plane crashed near Moscow soon after takeoff on Sunday, killing all 71 people on board, and investigators said they were looking at all possible causes. And here are the pictures of some of the pictures from the crash. Temperatures were around -5 degrees Celsius with periodic snowfall when the short-haul AN-148 operated by Saratov Airlines took off for the city of Orsk in Orenburg region, about 900 miles, 1,500 kilometers southeast of the capital. President Vladimir Putin offered condolences to those who had lost relatives and ordered a special investigative commission to be set up. According to preliminary information, nobody survived. The Kremlin said in a statement. The Office of Russia's transport prosecutor said all 71 people on board had been killed. Transport Minister Maxim Sokolov confirmed there were no survivors and said DNA tests would be needed to identify the dead. That's pretty bad when you need a DNA test to identify the dead people because there's not much left of them. TV images of the crash site showed wreckage of the plane, including at least one engine, lying in fields covered with thick snow. Helicopters were at the scene, as well as rescuers on snowmobiles. An official of the Emergency Situations Ministry said 2 bodies and a flight recorder had been found. Debris and human remains were spread over a radius of 1 kilometer from the crash site. Investigators said they had opened a criminal case into the incident. Among the possible causes they listed were weather conditions, human error, and the plane's technical condition. No distress signals had been received from the crew. The plane, manufactured in 2010, had been carrying 65 passengers and 6 crew. It disappeared from radar screens shortly after taking off from Moscow's can't pronounce that airport. Interfax news agency said one Swiss national had been among the passengers. As far as I know, there were no American passengers on board. It didn't appear so. I have looked at the passenger list. So, now, next, Q says dossier. So why was this plane killed? Why was this one person targeted on that plane, which ended up killing everybody? It was because of the dossier. And what else? Uranium-1. So these two reasons, dossier and uranium-1, was the reason for the plane crash. Someone on that plane crash had knowledge that someone wanted them to keep forever. So then Q says, would you believe one source was used for 2? Now, this could mean different things, but I'm going to stick with this. I could be wrong, and if I am, I'll correct it later. But the same source for the first dossier is linked to the second, meaning there are 2 Steele dossiers, which we know. One is a 35-page document, and the other is a longer, more expertly crafted and sourced document, the final work product of a well-trained MI6 senior deskman. So there are 2 Steele dossiers. One is longer, more expertly crafted, and the other is shorter. It's a 35-page document. So, yeah, I could link to this document, but I'm not going to do that because this would end up being a 2-hour video. So I may put the link to it in the description so that you can check out the Steele dossier for yourself. Of course, we know that these allegations are all false, but it's an interesting read. Find the passenger list. Well, I did that. I did find the passenger list. It was in Russian, and I put it into Google Translate, which didn't give me a very good translation, but while I was fiddling around doing all that, some smart person came up with a list in English, which really was a good list in English. So we do have the passenger list now, and he's saying find the passenger list because he's saying there was one person targeted. So he's wanting us to find who that one person is, and we have. It's this guy, VP, a dude whose name I can't pronounce. So then Q says, why 187 if inside Russia? Well, I don't know. I've thought about this because there's different ways of looking at this. Maybe it was a Russian spook that damned the plane. Maybe it was a Russian operative. I don't know. Maybe it was done inside of Russia so that we can't investigate because we don't have a jurisdiction. Or maybe Deep State or whoever it was that did this, the CIA, whatever, was in Russia without jurisdiction. Just I don't know. I really don't know. But whatever you guys think, I would be really glad to hear it because some of you guys have really, really good ideas, and some, a lot of times it turns out to be right. So I appreciate that, and I know others appreciate it too. Think logically. Well, we are thinking logically, and I don't know. Why 187 if inside Russia? I don't know. So the more I think about it, the more I think I don't know. And anyway, he says sick. Well, yeah, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick to kill 70 people, 70 innocent people, including children, for one person. Yeah, that's sick. It's really sick. In fact, it's obviously the work of a psychopath or sociopath, someone that doesn't have a conscience, because I don't know. I couldn't sleep if I had killed one person, let alone 71. Innocent people. And I saw on a video somewhere a man, he was just on his cell phone and he was just sobbing at the airport, and it really made me want to cry. I think of how many families this has affected. It's 71 people, but all those people had families or spouses or whatever. So now the next post, he says, okay, wait, he's referring to this one above. Okay, he's saying on it, what about Russian detained in Bangkok? Well, the Russian detained in Bangkok was indeed who we just spoke about and was on the last video, Sergei Medvedev. So then that's an anonymous user that said that. What about the Russian detained in Bangkok, Sergei Medvedev? And Q is saying, what picture was posted? Cage is full. Q. And he's directing it to this person. Now, this is a picture that I posted of the arrest. That is him being taken by the Bangkok. I would not say that these are normal police. They could be, but I would doubt that. And he's being taken into custody. So he said, cage is full. Q. Now, let's go up to the next one. Do people believe all recent resignations, plane crashes, plane reroutes, EMS, EBS activations, blackouts, etc., are simply a coincidence? No. I don't think any of us here, I don't think any of you watching this, you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't aware, at least aware of what was happening. So no, I don't think that any of us think it is. I think probably people in the world are wondering, gee, it seems that this is happening a lot, but I don't know if they're going to clue in because they're too busy watching CNN. Why did Sessions at the beginning emphasize investigations proceedings are kept confidential? Well, I think there was many reasons for that. One, you're not going to want to tip somebody off that you've got an investigation ongoing because, I mean, that's obvious. It's obvious. So, and also, we're just not privy to everything that's happening because it's, some of it, would compromise national security. And I do believe that. I mean, I just don't think that we need to be privy to everything. I think that it's important that we know that justice is being served and justice is being done. But I don't know. Now, there may be other answers to that question, and I'm quite confident that there are. So any of your suggestions are welcome. Now, he says, think magic. Now, I was thinking, what is magic? It's really, well, I mean, the magic that you see on stage is misdirection, really. You're looking one place while something else happens. What did you see? Do you really believe nothing is being done? Reread past crumbs. Who has the power? I believe he's referring to himself, POTUS. Why was this emphasized in the beginning? You have more than you know. Q. Now, this is something that I do want to do, is to go back, because now the longer that I've been doing this, the more knowledge that I've gained along the way, and things that I thought in the beginning are not necessarily what I believe now. So I do want to go back because I think there's a lot in those earlier posts that a lot of us have missed. So I am planning on doing that at some point because there's a wealth of information here, and I don't think we're even scratching the surface of some of the stuff. I really don't. But, POTUS is doing this Q is doing this because so many people are complaining. And I see that even on the comments on my videos. People are saying, well, I don't see anything happening. They keep saying that this is going on and this is going on, but nothing ever happens. Well, if you're really following these, you know that there are things happening because they'll tell you something and then it happens. I don't believe that for a minute, that there's nothing happening behind the scenes. I don't. So I think that was the whole gist of this, is to let us know, like, look, come on, like, there's lots of things happening. You just don't see everything. Now, the next one is this. Henderson, okay, and it makes reference to 89074, and it says underground data center, Q. Then it says, why is Henderson, Nevada Police Department and Nevada Department of Justice involved in Bangkok hacker case? Now, I did have a link to a picture here, and it's not that one. Q posted this picture. Hang on. Okay. All right, hang on. I think it's up further. So this is an anonymous user, and he's saying 89074. He's referring to a post, an earlier post of Q, and this is the post he's referring to, and it's 89074. And I just went out and grabbed it and did a screenshot of it here. So, and it says underground massive data center, Q. And that was back in December 1st, 2017. So this anonymous user is referring to this and saying underground massive data center, Q. Then this number right here, I searched to see how many times it had been used in all the posts. And there's another one too that has that number. And that's not the number of the post or anything like that. It's a number that Q put in there, 89074. Underground Massive Data Center, Q. And here he uses it again in with this long string of things. So confirm actors per condition 89074-B. So it has something to do with an underground data system. Now, underground massive data center, Henderson, Nevada. So, you know something, I can't believe I didn't do this before, because zip code Henderson, Nevada. And where is it? 8907. There it is, 89074. That's why. Okay. I don't know why that just clicked, and I went, oh, I bet you that's a zip code. So, Henderson, Nevada, there's an underground massive data center. Now, why is Henderson Police Department and Nevada DOJ involved in Bangkok hacker case? And this is posted, and it says, has now arrested 13 criminals from 17 counties for defrauding victims of over 530 million, as well as over 2.2 billion in losses. And this is the In-Fraud organization, which we were talking about, that Sergey was part of. And let's see if I can make this bigger, because I can't even read it. So I know you have no hope of reading it. Defendant 1 is, I can't pronounce his name either, but it's whatever. And defendant 2 has been apprehended, and that is Sergey Medvedev, aka Stellus Administrator. So there you go. Now, this is what this anonymous user posted, okay? And so we now know that this underground bunker that Q has made reference to on 2 occasions refers to an underground massive data center in Henderson, Nevada. And it's tied to the arrest that happened in Bangkok, Thailand, of Sergey Medvedev. And that's why he showed us that picture with Assumption College. So we would know that that's where that picture was taken. And the helicopter on the roof was there during the extraction. Okay? So that's where we are there. Now, in reply to that, that's when Q writes this. Do you believe all recent resignations, plane crashes, plane reroutes, are coincidence? No. So this, this anonymous user is posting this and saying, like, is this connected? And Q is saying, yeah, you think all this stuff is just a coincidence? It's not. It's all connected. And there's lots of stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't know of. So, and these, of course, are mine that I just put there to show you these 2 previous Q posts. So let's go up here. And you know what? I think we're going to stop there on this one, because I have not decoded this yet fully up from here on. So we're going to stop the video here, and this is going to catch us up to February 11th and 1447, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a second video to tie up the rest of the drops for today. Now, he may be still posting, so I don't know. Like, I may get off of here and see a whole bunch more posts that I have to decode, so I don't know. But my intention is to come back with the second video tonight and upload that. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all your comments and everything. As well, make sure if you want to be subscribed that you're still subscribed, because they are deleting the subscriptions. They're unsubscribing people. And they've done that to me with people that I want to listen to as well. So it's just the little games that they're playing now. So anyway, if you want to be subscribed, please make sure that you're still subscribed. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good evening.